Welcome to Brightside Business, where we talk to online entrepreneurs like yourself about how to grow to 7 figures and beyond. My name's Joey Young. I helped grow my family's professional services business to $100,000 months in under 2 years, and I learned a lot of lessons along the way. Hey, do you feel stuck in your business right now? Do you feel like there's a rut that you're in that you can't get out of? They're hearing a lot of no's, you're getting a lot of declined sales, maybe lack of prospects, you're kind of spinning in circles when it comes to revenue. I get it. I've been there. That's a really tough place to be in. And over the years, I've developed a system to deal with those ruts when I feel stuck in business. So I have 5 things you need to do immediately if you feel stuck in your business right now. And we're going to jump right into the first one here. And the first one is the hardest, but I guarantee you it'll be the most helpful if you can embrace it. You need to look at the man, look at the woman in the mirror, and you need to fix them. You need to fix the person looking back at you in the glass. And what do I mean by that? 90% of all the problems that businesses face that are sub 7 figures have to do with the leader's ability to have an outcome-focused, process-agnostic mindset, have consistent high performance, and have an obsession with delivering value. So let's break that down a little bit. Okay, if you're sub 7 figures, your number one priority is to develop and maintain a outcome-focused, process-agnostic mindset. What I mean by that is you need to have a clear goal where you're headed, clearly defined what's the outcome we're focused on. There's no distractions. I know the business we're trying to grow. And you have to have a process-agnostic mindset alongside it, meaning you don't care how you get there. Because the reality is a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to hear this tactic, hear this strategy, hear this plan from their favorite guru, and all of a sudden they think it's the shiz, they implement it, it doesn't work as easily as the person made it sound, and now they're sad and they can't grow past this mindset of being in an emotional dip. And what you need to do is completely stay focused on where you're going in the end and have a complete agility in how you get there. So instead of having this emotional tie to a certain funnel or a certain go-to-market strategy or a certain product, have an agility in there to be able to switch it up on the way, to be able to look at the results you're getting over the course of 2 weeks and then adjust for the next 2 weeks. You got to be okay with completely throwing out these conceptions of what you think it will take to be successful, the messaging you need, the marketing strategies. You need to be able to be flexible and learn from the people who are doing it best. Because honestly, there is a bajillion people out there who have already accomplished what you want to accomplish, and they probably have a course to sell you on how to do it. And if you try your own thing, it's probably going to take longer than doing it the way that they tell you to do it. So outcome-focused, process-agnostic mindset. Number 2 thing you need to do is the consistent high performance. Consistently going to work every day, working on the most needle-moving, results-driven activities you possibly can. There's a lot of entrepreneurs I talk to who have a lot of ideas around how they're going to grow their business, and they spend about 20 to 30% of their time on each, completely destroying any ability they have to grow their business because they're split. Their focus is here, their focus is over there, their focus is anywhere but on the actual revenue drivers that they need to be focused on to grow their business. So you need to have consistent high performance. That means going to work and actually putting in the hard work to eat the frog first thing in the morning. You need to be doing it consistently, so it's 5-6 days a week going in there and not slacking off for a few weeks and getting back into it. That skill set will serve you super, super well. And then obsession with delivering value. The best entrepreneurs who are sub 7 figures right now, who are sub 6 figures, somewhere in that growth stage where most of the business is still relying on them, is the best ones are this desire to actually deliver a result for their client. They want it more than their clients in some ways. They want to deliver on their actual promises. They want to create the results, and through that they earn the trust of their clients, who can see that they're actually working hard for them to get them the results and the solutions that they promised them when they sold them. So if you can have that mindset, you're going to stand way apart from the apathetic, detached entrepreneur who's just out here to make some passive income. If you can be obsessed with delivering value and getting results for your clients, you're going to be 10 times more successful than the other 10 people who are just in it for the money, if that makes sense. So fixing the man, fixing the woman in the mirror, that's number one. Number two thing you need to do immediately if you feel stuck, do not get fancy. Find the levers that work to grow your business, that drive revenue, and pull them again and again and again. Like you're an old school factory and you know that pulling the lever creates the thing that pops off the conveyor belt that sells for money. You just stand there and you just pull that lever over and over again, and that little tire that you're creating or whatever, a little bunny rabbit, the car, I don't know, whatever, is coming off the conveyor belt every time you pull. Sometimes this can feel very boring, and this is why entrepreneurs don't do this. They feel like every sale needs to be fun, they need to customize their solution to every client. They need to be available to every single change that is coming their way based on the emotion and the needs of each client that come through the doors. And that's the opposite of scalability. Scalability is saying, here, we've got a solution that addresses about 80% of the market for about 80% of what they want. Do you want it? Yeah? Great. You don't? Okay. Have a great life. We'll see you later. Maybe it'll change your mind. That's what scales. It's going to be simple. It's going to be boring. You can't get your need for novelty from your business. If you're feeling like you need that little creative edge with every single client you sit down with to find a solution for, or you need to be constantly in this like brainstorming zone, then it's going to be very hard to grow your revenue, because you're going to need you're feeling like you have to have your novelty funny bone itched every time you sit down with a client. You need to be able to develop processes and systems that consistently deliver value, and it might be boring, but maybe find your need for novelty fulfilled somewhere else. Listen, our company made $104,000 last month from one offer. One client, one solution, one problem that we solved. One offer made $104,000, and even more the month before, because we just know what works, and every month they have the same problem, and every month they pay us. So how can you find that solution that works for enough people, that is templatable so you can copy and paste it to multiple people, and just keep pulling that lever? Number three, if you're stuck right now, you need to put the people in the right seats. The right people in the right seats. See, a lot of entrepreneurs think that it's all about the idea. If they just have this breakthrough idea for a product or for a service, people are going to be so wowed, they're going to have to run and buy it. It'll be like, oh my gosh, the next iPhone is here. I have to buy it from this person. It's so exciting. The reality is businesses don't usually work that way. Usually it's a group of high-performing, driven people who get together, they brainstorm ideas, they figure out what the customer needs, they go and build a product, and they launch it. And then over the years, they steadily improve that product. That's the companies that actually do well over the long term. They don't set out to be some sort of genius and completely revolutionize an industry. They say, listen, I want to create a solution for this problem. We're going to start here. We're going to solve it. We're going to do it really well. And then over the years, they build a culture of excellence that is customer facing, that's based on the actual needs of the market and based on customer feedback. And so they get this feedback loop of excellence and trust with their customers, and it grows naturally from there. So putting the right people in the right seats is, first of all, understanding who's going to be my team, who's going to be my employees when I start this thing. Then how can I make sure these people are in the right seats? That means if someone's hired for something and they're not doing well in it, having multiple meetings and taking the time to check in to understand what are they actually good at, so you get the most use out of their time in your business, as opposed to trying to shoehorn them into a role where they're not going to flourish. And then once you have that formula, that culture where everyone is doing what they do best and everyone's a high performer and they're thoroughbreds, they're not picked out from, just the first person you think of on the street to be on your team. Out of that culture comes an excellent product that's scalable. Out of that culture comes a great business. I mean, you can even think about, the genius businesses that we read about in books. You might think of as an exception, but think about it. Apple with Steve Jobs, Bezos with Amazon. Like, there wasn't one single breakthrough product that took them to the stratosphere and made them bajillion-dollar businesses. They were lasting and were able to grow for decades over decades because they had built a team and a culture of high quality, performance-driven, customer-obsessed people who came together year after year, decade after decade to create another high quality product, another high quality service. They just created a culture out of putting people in the right seats and attracting the right people. That was the secret sauce. The secret sauce was not any one project. So again, putting people in the right seat, not focusing on one particular product. And once you have them in the right seat, give them decision-making power. This is another thing that business owners do, is they don't delegate enough responsibility. They only delegate tasks. And when you only delegate tasks, you're telling people, I don't trust you. You need to be able to delegate actual decisions and responsibility and build people up from that way. So that's number 3. Number 4, you need to do right now, this shift needs to take place if you're going to get out of your rut. Make it missional. Your team wants to feel like they're part of something that makes a dent in the universe. They want to feel like they're a part of the solution that is putting a smile on someone's face, that is turning their life around for the better, that's creating lasting change that will go well beyond their time here on this earth. Your team doesn't want to show up to a job where the boss is just focused on numbers, where everyone feels like a unit, where the only talk is how to raise revenue by 2-3% through this strategy or this tactic. No, we got to have the basis of our business on something beyond the people in that room. And if you can do that, if you can base your business truly and with authenticity on something outside of the boardroom that you're meeting in to grow your business, people will feel intrinsically motivated and they'll want to do their best work. They'll want to do their life's work in some cases at your company, because you're about impact and you're about making your lives of your customers better. So collect stories. Be a collector of testimonials, of screenshots, of different feedback videos, of reviews, whatever it is, and share them with your team. And talk about the lives that are changed based on your business with your team. And then tie it back to their team's work. Don't just say, look how awesome we are. We have this person who accomplished this because we did this and this. Actually tie it into their daily work. Say, listen, Susie, this person had this awesome feedback, and I know that was because of what you did over here at this time to make that change for them. Or because, Bob, back over in the back of house, all that stuff you do on a day-to-day basis that feels like a grind, well, guess what? It caused this person over here to have this result, and you're awesome, Bob. And so now we have this culture of missionality, where Bob's not just sitting down to crunch numbers, Bob's doing something incredible each day. Number 4, okay? Number 5 is the last one. This is really critical if you're feeling like you're in a rut. Take every opportunity to pre-decide. This will help you so much in terms of staying in the business for the long term and sticking around for the long haul. Motivation. You see, focus is a symptom of long-term thinking. Long-term thinking is the result of pre-deciding what the good life is for you. You want to have focus. That's what's going to grow your business. That is the result of long-term thinking. Because if you're in a short-term zone and you're like frantic and you're crazy and you're in chaos, you're thinking about today. You're thinking about what's going on next hour. But what helps grow your business beyond the rut you're in is long-term thinking. Long-term thinking is a result of pre-deciding what the good life looks like for you. As an entrepreneur, if you know what you want in the future, if you know what your values are and your goals are, you will know what the good life is. And that will be the end objective you're able to focus on in the future. Knowing that every little step you make today, every hardship, every piece of discipline you submit to today, every hard conversation you go into, every tough task you tackle, it all has a purpose to help you get to somewhere where you're able to live out your values, you're able to have the things you want, you're able to achieve your goals, your monetary goals, be able to achieve your relationship goals, because you are able to understand and clarify what the good life looks like for you. And that's the power of pre-deciding. I know what my values are. I know what my goals are. That is the good life for me. That's where I'm going. That's the North Star, okay? And then everything comes down from that. That long-term thinking trickles down into the ability to focus on a Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. when you sit down to work. You know exactly what the tasks are. You don't feel frantic. You don't feel anxious. You don't feel behind. All your tasks are aligned upward with the values, with the good life, with all the things that you want to create for you and your family. That's going to be really helpful. So take your eyes a little bit higher, my friends. And hey, if this was helpful for you, I want to hear your questions. If you have a question for the podcast, you have a business strategy question, a productivity question, shoot me an email. I'd love to hear your question and then answer it here on the podcast. That'd be a lot of fun. So my email is joey@joeyhyoung.com, or you can send me a DM on Instagram. That's @joeyhyoung on Instagram. Love to hear your business strategy, productivity questions. I'll address them here. And hey, if you've made it this far in the episode, leave a review. Give it a 5-star, give it a like, subscribe, follow, whatever. All those things are super helpful. They push the show forward in the algorithm. Really appreciate it. And if you are at the point where you're like, yo, I want to actually figure out what I can do to get unstuck in my particular situation, actually, there's a really good way to do that. You can book a free 20-minute business consultation with me. There's a link in the show description here. There's also a link in my bio on Instagram. Book a free consultation. We'll talk about your business, how to grow past your blockages, your revenue ceilings, all that stuff. Totally free. Happy to do that with you. And hey, until next time, my friends, happy scaling.